Hello everyone, this is John Sung. And this is a very different video from the conventional John Sung content where I post short movies and all that kind of business. Here we're just doing my one of my physics homework. I just thought it might help for other Ontario grade 11 students. If I can share this. So this is basically we're doing a projectile question, a word problem clearly, and we're trying to get this question right. So a basketball player shoots the basketball from a height of 1.94 meters above the court floor. The basketball's initial velocity is 8.2 meter per second, which is 6.5 degrees above the horizontal. Determine the basketball's total air time, maximum height, range, and final velocity. So the question is asking for 4 things. And this is not normally going to be on the test because it takes really long, but respectively, it's going to be on the test like separately, So what is range? A range is basically a horizontal displacement. This is a little bit of a trick question. Just be sure to remember it, okay? Final velocity is max speed. So that can be another trap here. Because just think about it. If you go up, go down right before the object hits the ground, that's the max speed. All right. So this is a diagram I drew, and this is a perpendicular triangle I drew, so a right triangle. So basically, the basketball player shoots the ball. This is a basketball player. I just drew it like a wall. And then we're trying to just shoot a basketball, okay? So, like, it's gonna go like this. Kind of like a parabola, right? So, to get the total time, what do we have to do? We have to, first of all, list things that we know. So this is V1. This is the horizontal velocity. This is the vertical initial quote-unquote velocity. So I had it V1y. If you draw this triangle, you can see that cosine 65, so koa, it's obviously cosine equals to opposite over hypotenuse. So that's the reason why it's cosine 65 equals to opposite v1y over hypotenuse 8.2. It's given on the question, and there's the angle. So think about it. If cosine 65 equals to Vx over 8.2, then if you move over the 8.2 to the left side of the equation by, multiplying 8.2 to both sides, so this side, 8.2 cancels out. And then it becomes 8.2 cosine 65 equals to Vx. And here, if you use sine is basically sine equals to opposite over hypotenuse. So the same thing here, 8.2 times sine 65 equals to v1y precisely because sine 65 equals to v1y over 8.2. So if you multiply 8.2 to the both sides, then 8.2 basically cancels out on the right side, and then 8.2 kind of gets added on to the left side. So let's get the values. What do we know? Vx is what? Grab your calculator. 8.2 cosine 65 is, okay, 3.465. I'm just gonna write 3 digits after the decimal point. 3.645. We're gonna add a little dot here. Sick. And v1y equals to, okay, 8.2, and then we gotta decide. 65 equals to 7.43. These are both meter per second. Sick. Very nice. So we do know the Vx and V1y. Now we got to do is get, what is the question asking you? So maximum height. We have to specifically look at this part. So if you draw just this part of the curve, and then this is like the vertex if you compare it with a quadratic function. This is basically the highest point. Here, where do you start? The basketball player throws the ball, but the initial velocity, like right here, is 0. You know, make sure you watch all the previous videos if you don't understand this, because the basic concepts that are covered in kinematics all get summed up in this projectile, word question. So v1 equals to 0, v2 equals to, you don't know. Make sure you indicate that these are all y values. So v1y equals to 0, v2y, you don't know. What is, actually, sorry about that, v1y, not v1y, but we're talking about, v1 equals to 0, v2 you don't know, and then what do you have to do? I'm sorry, bye-bye, I screwed it up.